What's going on, everybody? Martino here from Extract Media. I'm here to review Black Panther Wakanda Forever from director Ryan Coogler.
Show them who we are.
So it's hard to give much away about this story without spoiling it, but the story is very much about loss and how to move on from that loss, which I think is very indicative of what we're going through in our real life with the loss of Chadwick Boseman. And I'll tell you, this movie really knows its audience when it comes to that. It's gonna be a tough film to talk about without spoiling it, guys, so you're not gonna really get much from me in terms of the story again, but I hope that this is satisfying enough for you. There's a big focus in this movie for the character Namor, and he is played by a gentleman named Tenoch Huerta. I apologize if I'm butchering that a little bit, but I gotta tell you guys, he is amazing. I don't know that this movie works as well as it does without him in it. He is actually a really wonderful presence. I loved everything they did with this villain. There is one scene involving him and Shuri in the film that I thought maybe could have been cut down just a little bit, but for the most part, I did enjoy the scene. It was just so beautiful to look at. Everything else with him is just amazing, and he is such an astounding actor and brought so much to the villain of Namor that I just appreciated this movie so much more because of his villain and really taking the time to understand where his villain is coming from, and the performance he puts behind it just is a bonus for that. Denai Guerrero is back in the film as Okoye. I thought she just put on a phenomenal performance in this film. This was an unbelievable performance from her, and she just gave everything to this movie, man. I'm telling you, she did a wonderful job. One of the newest additions to the MCU, the newest addition to this film, to this franchise, is Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams. I thought she was great in this movie. I loved everything with her for the most part, and we all know that Riri Williams is Ironheart, right? That news is out there. That's nothing new, and her first action sequence in this movie gave me so many Tony Stark vibes, like that first Iron Man, and I actually kind of felt tears coming to my eyes in that because it was like so indicative of what that first Iron Man was, and honestly that tone just kind of all came back. This movie for the most part does feel like a tone that I've been wanting to see come back to the MCU for a long time, and it almost feels like how going to see these Marvel movies used to be in a lot of ways. Lupita Nyong'o is one of the best actresses working today, and she kills it once again here as Nakia. I loved her return here, and she just had so much to do that I just thought was so phenomenal, man. I don't know. I thought that this was probably the best performance she's ever given as Nakia. She was incredible in this. Angela Bassett is back in this movie as Ramonda, and holy cow, this might be the best performance we've ever seen in the MCU from her. She was unbelievable, and she's probably going to get nominated for an Oscar for this. She was so powerful in this movie, and she's just always great, but this time around this performance was incredible. It was just one of the best performances ever seen in the MCU. She was so powerful, man, so powerful. Winston Duke is back as M'Baku, who's one of my favorite characters from Black Panther, and I'm glad he's back here in the sequel, and they give him some really fun stuff to do. Every time he's on the screen, he's incredible. I do wish there was a little more of him, but overall, I thought he was fantastic. And Letitia Wright is a major standout here as Shuri. I thought she just did an incredible job in this movie. She might get nominated too, honestly. She also gives just such a powerful performance in this movie. The performances across the board are a lot of what makes this movie work for me. It's so incredible to see. It honestly might be the best performances ever in the MCU. And this movie has a big task to try to explain how we're going to deal with the loss of Chadwick Boseman in real life, because he is no longer going to be King T'Challa. How do we deal with that loss? How do we move on is a lot of the point of this movie, a lot of the idea behind it, and I think that you kind of have to deal with that. And then Ryan Coogler also had to maneuver a whole new story to warrant a sequel for this, and in a lot of ways this connects back to the first movie more than I thought it would. I thought Ryan Coogler did a phenomenal job making this the perfect sequel without your lead in there anymore, and it just feels like the natural direction for a sequel, even though it really probably put a damper on their plans that Coogler initially had when Chadwick Boseman died, and he just did a great job balancing that. And of course the million-dollar question from a lot of people is, how did this honor Chadwick Boseman? Did it honor Chadwick Boseman properly? And I would say it did that and then some. This is a very emotional emotionally moving movie, probably the most emotionally moving movie in the MCU so far. It's so powerful, guys. I mean, it really freaking got to me, and you guys are probably not going to be prepared for how emotionally moving and powerful this movie is actually going to be, and it's not going to be for everybody. That's not what I'm trying to say, but I do think it is going to move you in ways you didn't think it would. The soundtrack is so great. Ludwig Göransson's score as well is phenomenal. It's a lot of what keeps this 3-hour runtime moving, even though there is a moment in this movie that has a minor pacing issue. I think for the most part it moves pretty quickly. I was never bored once in this film. It just moves so well. There's so much action in this movie and it's so much fun to watch. I think it's a blast. Even in some of the more damper moments, you're just like so invested in everything that's going on. I love the storyline for this. There might be one or two things in there that's gonna, you know, ask you to suspend disbelief, but because of the performances, I just bought everything going on surrounding Wakanda in this film. And Coogler shot the hell out of this movie. It is so visually stunning throughout. See it on the biggest screen you can. If you can get in the IMAX, this is the way to watch it. It is so phenomenal and so beautiful to look at. There's not a shot amongst them that just looks bad. Every shot in this movie is thought about, counted for, and it's just so beautiful. It's stunning, guys. Stunning. You guys probably know the first Black Panther is my favorite MCU movie, so to do the sequel and without Chadwick Boseman and to move on from that, it wasn't an easy task, but I think Coogler really knocked it out of the park, guys. Black Panther Wakanda Forever is just so emotionally moving, and I do recommend you check it out this weekend. I think it's going to hit everybody in different ways, but hopefully it hits you the right way. I think they just did an amazing job really dealing with that loss, and it's so powerful, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. This is actually amongst the best movies of the year. It's at least in my top 10 favorite of the year. So guys, I'm going to give Black Panther Wakanda Forever a must go. Please go see it this weekend, guys. We need to support this film for Chadwick, and it's just so incredible, guys. I think everybody's going to be pretty happy with it across the board for the most part, but film is subjective, so maybe not. If you guys are looking for another heavy, emotionally moving film from director Ryan Coogler, I am going to take you over to his first film, Fruitvale Station. I think this movie is so incredibly powerful. It stars Michael B. Jordan, as do most of his movies, but it's so good, guys. You guys got to see Fruitvale Station. This movie really messed me up. It's so emotional and powerful and moving. I do recommend it highly. All right, guys, those are my thoughts on Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Have you seen it yet? What did you think? Let me know. Tell me what you're expecting from it versus what my review had given you. Did my review help you make the decision whether or not to go see it this weekend? Let me know that as well. Before I get out of here, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, and hit that bell for notifications. All right, guys, I've been Martino. I will talk to you guys later.